I've been seeing a lot of story times of dumb stuff you did with your friends as a kid, and I got a good one. One time when my best friend and I were like 9, 10 maybe, my family and her family went to go stay at her cabin for a few days. And the only place in town where you can get reception is like this little library, which isn't terribly far from her ranch, but like you definitely still have to drive. So we wanted to go get reception, but instead of just asking our parents if they can take us, our logic was basically, our parents look like they're busy, let's just take the keys. So we take the keys to her parents' Suburban, and we're like sneaking out of the house trying to contain our laughter because we thought we were so rebellious. And my best friend gets in the driver's seat and I'm like, are you sure you can do this? Like, we're 10. And she's like, yeah, I've driven an ATV before, so like we should be fine. I'm like, okay. She starts backing out of her driveway, windows are down, country music's blasting, and right then my mom comes running out the front door and she's like, Jessica Lee Davis, what are you doing? Get inside now! And I look at my best friend and I was like, oh no, like we better pull back up to the driveway, like let's go get in trouble. And then we make eye contact, we both just smile at each other, and then she just like slams the gas. And it's a super long like dirt road driveway too, so she's like full speed reversing down this driveway. And my mom is like chasing us down the driveway, like yelling to get back here. Sorry, mom. And we were so proud of our little crime too, like we thought it was the funniest thing. I will never forget that drive either because we were like swerving down the roads. She was going as fast as she possibly could, all the windows down, country music blasting. Like imagine you're a cop or even a passerby and you just see this giant Suburban like swerving towards you and you can't even see the driver or the passenger because we were 10 and we were so short. I don't know how we didn't get pulled over, but we made it to the library and we literally stayed there for like 2 hours and somehow our parents never tracked us down. But we had the times of our life, and I did get grounded when we got back for I think 2 weeks, but it was completely worth it because that was such a core memory for us in our friendship. So then like a couple years later when I was back up at the ranch again, that's what we call it the ranch. Becca and I decided we want to take the ATVs out. Becca's my best friend. So we hop on an ATV and her brother's like, make sure that you guys have a second can of gas in there because if it runs out of gas and you're far from home, no reception, it'd be really bad. And we're like, yeah, whatever, shut up, Bo, we'll be fine. In our defense, we genuinely thought there was a second tank in there, but our mistake was not double checking. In case you can't tell where this is going, a couple hours later we ended up running out of gas very far from the ranch and directly in the middle of the road. Both of us are panicking, and right then this big truck comes barreling towards us, and they definitely didn't see us because we were right around a corner and they were going like full speed. So we both jump off as fast as we possibly can and start like pushing the ATV off the road like into a literal ditch. But it was very heavy and it was not budging, and both of us just stopped and looked at each other, and I swear we like just accepted our fate as roadkill. I was like, this is it? I'm out of time, but I swear I'm almost done. Go to part 2. So my best friend and I are miles from home, stuck on this ATV that's out of gas with no reception and a giant truck barreling towards us about to take our lives. So we decided to try to push the ATV out of the road one last time in a final attempt to save our lives. And you know how they say that when your adrenaline is activated, it'll bring out strength that you never even knew you had? That is what happened to me that day. As my life is flashing before my eyes, and I'm watching this truck coming towards us that clearly does not see us, I pushed that ATV with every last bit of strength I ever had. In the literal nick of time, we were able to push that ATV out of the road and into the ditch next to it. We watched that truck soar by, didn't even see us in the ditch next to them, and that's when the adrenaline starts to go away. I look down at my leg and I start feeling the most searing, burning pain I have ever felt in my 20 years of life. Basically, as we had been pushing the ATV, I didn't even notice that my leg had been completely pressed up against the hot exhaust pipe. I think it's just because I was literally convinced we were going to, so I wasn't even realizing it until the situation was over. But I had like this massive ring-shaped wound on my thigh, and I looked down at it and it was literally bubbling and boiling. Definite 3rd-degree burn. So now I'm injured, we're miles from home, we have zero reception, no gas, and the ATV is severely stuck in this ditch. Both of us were just sitting there panicking for like a solid 30 minutes, and then we hear an engine. It's Bo, my best friend's twin brother, here to save the day. He had an inkling because we had been gone for so long and he was on his ATV coming to look for us. He pulls up, we explain what happened, we're both in tears. After he made sure I was like gonna live, he looked at the ATV and he was like, wait, so why did you guys stop in the middle of the road again? We were like, we ran out of gas. He pulls out a full spare tank of gas that was just sitting underneath a towel in like the little cart on the front of the ATV that neither of us noticed. So we never even ran out of gas to begin with. But yeah, he took us back to the ranch. I ended up having to go to the ER like a couple weeks later because I tried to brave through the burn, but it got really infected. Thankfully, we're safe now and we're still best friends going on 15 years. Love you guys. Let's do a get ready with me and a story time because this story just deserves to be shared. Alright, to set the scene for you, I was in middle school, and in middle school, it's literally the most awkward years of your life, and everybody is just trying to fit in. At this stage of my life, I was kind of going through a rough patch, just hanging around the wrong people. I wasn't really bad, but I definitely needed to get back on track. So during middle school, we needed AR points, which were like reading points, and we had to take tests on books. And I hadn't finished my book yet, but you know, I was in my self-care era even back then, and I decided to take my book into the bath to read, but I also decided to take my phone.
I also add, this is when iPhones were not as waterproof as they are now. So I go to step into my freshly made bath with bubbles and everything, with my book in one hand, a bath bomb in the other hand, and my phone. So my hands were full, too full. So when I step in, I drop my phone. Traumatic. I'm obviously upset because I think my phone is broken. I also dropped my book, which I'm borrowing from the school. And so I pick my phone up. My book is just floating through the water. And I pick my phone up like this.
Sit down, it is story time. Honestly, I forgot this even happened in my childhood, but I had a dream, so I got reminded of it. When I was younger, my childhood best friend was literally obsessed with Britney Spears, like obsessed. So Christmas was coming up and I wanted to be a really good friend. I didn't get her like a Britney Spears t-shirt. I got her something way better. It came from a good place in my heart. I wanted to give her like the best present she has ever had in her entire life. So I told her that my dad's really good friend actually knew Britney Spears and that I would get her something very special for her birthday. She was so excited and I was excited to do this for her. Again, not the smartest idea, but I really wanted to give her a huge surprise. I wanted her to remember it forever, which I'm sure she did. Okay, I wrote her a note like saying like I was Britney Spears, basically saying like, oh, thank you for being one of my biggest fans, and I literally sprayed perfume on it. I was so committed. I even looked up what her handwriting looked like just so I can try to copy that. That's not even the worst part. I even put lipstick on and like did a kiss mark on the paper pretending it was her. And on top of that, I attached a necklace I literally got from Claire's. I attached it to the paper and said I wore that in a concert, and when I signed the paper I said XOXO Britney, hit me baby one more time. I mean, I had to, it was classic. Oh, I even wrote in there, I can't give you free concert tickets because it's sold out, but love you. When I gave it to her, my friend was so happy and excited. She was like, oh my god, there's just no way. And I was like, way. I was like, but make sure you don't show like everyone, just because I want Britney to be very private about her life. No, I'm not trying to expose our girl like that. She's like, okay, no worries. She went home, literally hung it up in her house, sent me a picture. I know you guys are thinking, Maggie, did she ever find out? And the answer to that is yes, she did. She found out after I told her in 8th grade. We were at lunch and I was like, hey, do you remember when Britney Spears gave you that signed autograph with like her necklace and kiss mark and all that? She was like, yeah. I was like, that was fake. She goes, yeah, I figured. I'm glad she kind of figured it on her own, but she did figure it out when she was a bit older. I knew that she knew it was fake when I went over her house in like 6th, 7th grade, I think, and it wasn't hung up in her house anymore. Next Christmas, I just got her a candle and a necklace. I feel like younger me definitely deserved a good friend award. At least. Anyway, I will see you all in my next video. Love you!